Here are my 3 men's and 3 women's picks for the 2017 Ironman World Championships. The third women's triathlete that I don't think anyone can ever count out. He freaking nailed it. What's up, Trainiacs? We are literally like hours away from having to close down the offices here. So in honor of that, I figured that I would bang out another couple of videos in front of the iconic brick background. Anyone who's been around since before the vlog, like BV days, will remember the brick background. Everything was done in front of this. It's the end of an era, folks. Sad. But we move onward and upward. And also the reason that I'm doing this is because literally Mel sold my chairs out from under me. Had a day working at home yesterday, come back, no chairs, nowhere to sit. Literally, at my desk, nothing. Hard knock life. But that's okay, because with the Half Ironman 70.3 World Championships coming up on September 9th in Chattanooga, we can do like not an exact kind of vlog day, because I want to go through the 3 men's and the 3 women's favorites going into that race. I think that we've got a really interesting race coming up because the course is really hard. Half the swim is upstream. The bike features about 1,000 meters, 3,408 feet of climbing, and the run features about 300 meters of climbing. Like, this is a for real course. The athletes are gonna have a serious test. I think that we're gonna have a very interesting day, and the podium spots are gonna be quite uncertain. But that said, here are my 3 men's and 3 women's picks for the 2017 Ironman World Championships 70.3 in Chattanooga. Ladies first, the #1 seed coming in is Holly Lawrence, and that's really interesting because she's the defending champion, and once she stepped up to the longer distance races, she started becoming dominant. Like, she was phenomenal. Articles written about her all over the place about how dominant she's been in the longer distance stuff. That said, she started battling injuries over the last few weeks, and on social media, like following her, we don't really know quite how serious that injury is. So could she be dominant? Could she be fit? She's done everything that she needed to throughout the rest of the year to focus on this as her main race, but is she going to be able to overcome that injury and how serious that injury is? But that said, with the talent and the fitness that Holly Lawrence has displayed over the rest of the year, taking away that injury, we can't really ever count her out. The one thing that we have seen from Holly Lawrence recently is that she crushed the field in Half Ironman Racine. There wasn't a swim in Racine. They canceled it because of super cold water temperatures. And the field wasn't like extremely deep like she's going to be experiencing in Chattanooga. I think potentially the most ideally suited, the best prepared, the most dominant, I guess clearly strongest over the remainder of the year that doesn't really show any chinks in the armor is US triathlete Heather Jackson. Heather has done very well, especially recently at the Half Ironman distance, winning both Steelhead 70.3 and Calgary 70.3. She won them by small margins. Granted, she won them, you still gotta win them, but it wasn't the super deep field that she's gonna be teeing off against in Chattanooga. She's been very consistent. She hasn't really had any blow up races. She's just consistently got faster, looks really strong. Follow her on social media. She seems really happy with her build coming into Chattanooga. So I would say that with the depth that Heather Jackson has built up over the last few years, that she's definitely gonna be one of the favorites. Now, the third women's triathlete that I don't think anyone can ever count out, but is a big question mark, is Daniela Ryf. She's a previous champion. She's a 2-time full Ironman world champion. Thing is, we've seen some of her top end speed that she brought in through that short course racing kind of come off at the Half Ironman distance in early 2017. Now, does she have that speed? You know what? I'm not gonna go ahead and say that because frankly, Chris McCormick, Macca, said that her speed is coming off earlier in the year, and Daniela Ryf's coach, Brett Sutton, tore him a new one on social media. So, Daniela, no opinions here, but what we don't know is, was she holding back in those other races so that she wouldn't toast herself in preparation for Kona? She could have checked off the Half Ironman World Championship box like, got it, done, easy, or She could be getting older and her speed in that shorter distance half Ironman could be coming off. Not saying that, Brett. Not saying that. No. Would not say that. Thing is though, Daniela Ryf is probably, in my opinion, the most talented long course female triathlete out there right now. If she can translate that to a half Ironman world championship that she really cares about, I think that she's unbeatable, but does she really care about it? And is she going to focus on that at the risk of potentially overcooking herself to Kona? If I had to bet, I'd say no. Now on the men's side, the #1 seed is defending champion Tim Reed. He's raced twice recently, winning Ironman 70.3 Philippines and second in Ironman Racine to Sam Appleton? Yes, Sam Appleton. But as I mentioned, it was a bit of a janky course because they nixed the swim. Other than that, he hasn't had any massive breakout performances throughout the course of the year, but that's kind of similar to how he was coming into last year. He's just a really strong athlete, and if he can bring it all together on the day, nobody can count him out. The man knows how to win. Somebody who's had an amazing year, like I think a long distance breakout kind of year, is athlete Tim Don. After coming up through the ITU circuit and going to the longer distances, we saw a couple years where Tim Don kind of struggled in races here and there. He didn't really know how to find the exact form that he had in ITU races at the longer distance until this year. He's had 2 half Ironman wins in Campeche, which I was at and witnessed, and Boulder, and then he had an absolutely drop it like it's hot, because it was really hot on the day, performance setting the Ironman branded race course record in Brazil. He freaking nailed it. That was a hot day, hot course. Really tough, very impressive. So I think to count him out would be silly. Thing is, he hasn't done a lot of short course races, but I think that base that he's got from an entire career of racing ITU distance races, it's gonna be hard to say that he can't piece a really fast race together. The third male triathlete that I'm gonna keep an eye out for is Javier Gomez. He's seeded 12th, and he hasn't actually even raced a half Ironman distance race all year. And he was injured last year, not even being able to compete in the Olympics because I think he broke his collarbone or shoulder. But in my opinion, Javier Gomez is probably the most well-rounded triathlete out there in the world, like everywhere. He's strong on the bike. He's probably the best runner in the field. And his most recent race in ITU Montreal was a win in 1:47. Yeah. Crazy fast. The thing about Javier is that he's stated that this is going to be the year that he starts pivoting a lot more towards half Ironman distance races. And 3 years ago, when he wasn't even focusing on the half Ironman, he won the half Ironman World Championships. So he's got the talent and the speed to do it. So yeah, Trainiacs, I am stoked to watch this race. The fact that we're coming in with a bit of uncertainty about who the favorites are, and it's a really deep field, I could have made this list 10 long on both sides. And the fact that I can do that and that I'm really uncertain and I can't say definitively, bam, this is gonna be your world champion, no question, that's what makes this exciting. This is gonna be good. Keep an eye out. I gotta go try to work the rest of the day with no chair. Bike this morning was phenomenal. Nailed it, picked up a sprint.